Hey everyone, this is Crypto Shah. Really excited to be announcing with you today that I'm starting a brand new channel that's specifically focused on intimate fireside chats with the hottest ICOs that are out there right now. As you know right now, reputation always plays a huge role in any of these ICOs, especially since we're all looking to support these really big and bold, exciting projects, and we may not be able to have a close understanding of what the team is like. So my goal to you is to provide these intimate fireside chats where we can really get to know the founders one-on-one and make sure that they're the right people that we should be supporting. On that note, I'm really excited to kick this off by presenting to you a previously recorded interview that I did with 0Chain's founder, Saswata Basu, a project that I'm really supporting, and yeah, I'm really excited to kick this off with you. So please remember to click the subscribe button and let's get right to the interview. Thanks again. Today, I'm really excited to be joined by Saswata Basu, the CEO and founder of 0Chain. Saswata, thanks for taking time to speak.
Thank you, Manjal, for inviting me. It's a pleasure, and you guys do a great job and great work, so I'm excited to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So to get started, could you explain what exactly is 0Chain?
It's basically a fast, free, flexible cloud. When I started out with an IoT application, I needed something that none of the blockchains could provide. So the basis of 0Chain became, let's start with a clean slate and start with an architecture and then develop the protocols associated with the architecture that can help us move all the enterprise applications that are currently on AWS be available in a decentralized way on a blockchain. And that's what we're building. We're building an extensible platform that can scale existing decentralized applications that are currently running on AWS, which is centralized, right, to be on our blockchain in a fast, free, and flexible way, so dApps can create their own chain if they like. So we want to be extensible to existing blockchains and help out dApps. That's what we're all about.
What was the motivations behind starting this company? And maybe a good start there would be, what is your background overall?
Sure. So my background has been varied. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I have a PhD in wireless. And I actually did it in 3 years. So wow. Both master's and PhD projects. They were both projects. It wasn't just coursework.
Yeah.
Of course, I was working 20 hours a day. So that's. But that was good times at UCLA, between fun and games. I was studying hard. So if you look at my background, I've been in wireless, and I was part of the team that did 4G wireless at Intel, and then I moved on to Aviat Networks, where we built the backhaul networks for big cellular companies. And then subsequently within that company, we did a energy startup. So my technologies, I've been all over the place in terms of energy technology, and then moved on to cloud computing, web applications in the cloud. And now, been doing recently an IoT AI application, IoT's AI sensor in the cloud. And I was trying to see how we can put that on the blockchain, and that's how I came about the Ethereum platform and some of the other blockchain platform, and realized that that platform is really not cheap enough for an IoT sensor to be on the cloud.
That's a good place. Could you explain about the sustainable farming company that you were working on before that kind of led you to create 0Chain in general? And kind of the problem you're trying to solve there.
Sure, yeah. As you know, farmers are conservative, and they don't have as much capital. So for them to use IoT sensors, they want it to be cheap. And if they want to monetize that data, they want it to be in a marketplace.
What's the reason that they even needed sensors in the first place?
Oh, they needed to optimize their water usage as well as fertilizers, and be able to get higher yield.
Right. But pretty much a better usage of our resources for the planet, because they don't have currently an incentive structure that enables them to want to use the most sustainable means out there, because a lot of it's subsidized by governments, right?
That's right.
This is all conversations we had offline, so it's important to build a context.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the reasons behind SustainX, which you may have heard of,
Yeah.
in a different way.
Yeah.
But it's to connect the donors and the farmers to basically help create a better environment as well as a better agricultural food production. That's how we started thinking about that angle as well. But we thought the underlying blockchain technology that we were architecting is really fundamental to all verticals, not just to the agricultural vertical. And so that's why we settled on 0Chain, which we have been in development for some time, while SustainX was just a 1 month marketing effort.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, what exactly are the main benefits of 0Chain and the capabilities that it allows other users? Right. What's the flexibility that's given to them?
Right. So first, we want to solve the finality problem, because let's say your garage door is open. You want to know right away. You don't want to wait hours, minutes, or seconds. You want to know it instantly that something is amiss at your home. If you want a decentralized app to give you that information, and that's the problem we're trying to solve with sub-second finality. So I think we are the only ones that are going to provide that. That's number one. So we want it to be fast. Okay.
Sub 1 second.
Yes, sub 1 second, yes. And we want it to be infinitely scalable, but on top of that, we wanted to build in the flexibility of creating your own chain for your application. So, for instance, if you want to build a AI app, then you want a longer computing cycle. If you want to build a image processing application, same thing. You probably don't want sub-second, you want several minutes long for your computing to be over. If you want to build a bank application, you may want higher level of consensus, higher level of decentralization. So that's how we came about that you can create a chain. We parameterized how you can create a chain. You can create a different level of decentralization, different level of consensus. So you can be highly secure, you can be fast, or you can allow for your compute cycles to be to be longer, like for image processing or for medical applications.
Right. Yeah. That's something that's worth reiterating, is that this is more of an enterprise blockchain based technology, right? So different enterprises that want to they kind of want different levels of flexibility, because for them to kind of use Ethereum or Bitcoin, there's currently a lot of restrictions regarding the speed at which they can actually transfer data, the cost for transferring data, and anything else, and the flexibility as well.
Yeah, so I mean, basically that's why we said 3 Fs, right?
Right.
You want to be fast, you want to be free, and you want to be flexible.
Right.
So the free part is a big part of the tokenized economy, and I think we are probably going to be the second blockchain that is introducing this free tokenized concept. I know Yoss and Dan Larimer introduced it earlier when they created Yoss project. So I think that's something that we want to provide, like for applications where you come to our blockchain and you should be able to get free computing and storage. Just like a bank, you go to your bank, you get free services, and there are a lot of bank employees doing lots of work in the background to make that happen, and that's what we're going to do with miners, of course. So that's the tokenized part of it.
Great. So could you explain just how many tokens there will be total, kind of what their distribution cycle will be like, as well as maybe also some of the total number of sales that have already occurred for the tokens that you're producing?
Sure. Well, let me announce that we have raised 39 million in record time, actually. In fact, last time we met, we were at WCF. That was the first public appearance.
And which was what, January
16th?
16th.
Yeah, and we sold out essentially by the end of the month. Basically, we were oversubscribed, and we just waited because we wanted to make sure the private pre-sale of the public event would be done. and that completed end of or middle of February 16th. So it's been 1 month since the WCF event. We're able to close the 39 million round, and that's about half as much as we could have gotten because we capped our funds to almost half or less than half in some cases.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so in terms of the number of tokens, we have it's capped at 400 million, of which half of it is going to be given out over 100 years. Now that's the maximum rate. So the inflation protocol will be such that it will be only given out 1% over that per year over that course of time. So that gives it 100 years. But depending on the price of the protocol, the price of the token, it could go 200 years, 300 years. So it's very flexible.
Right.
So that's the so the 50% is for the miners. We have released 10% of the tokens to the public, and another 10% is reserved, and then another 30% is divided among advisors and team, of which some of it are not allocated yet, and that will be basically vested over 4 years.
Vested over 4 years.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to hear. It's good to hear that it's vested over 4 years versus like a 2-year vest or less than that, which a lot of these projects are kind of going for. Could you explain a little bit about the team's background that you put together?
So I've been fortunate that I've been in several industries and have knowledge in several areas. So we hire only the best. I don't think quantity matters as much as the quality of the people that you get.
Especially in the first 10.
Exactly. Exactly. And because you can be agile and you can be close and you can move faster. So the team we have a protocol team that's primarily made up of the professor, myself, and the San Jose State students. And they're very good. We handpicked only a couple of them. And then we have a research team which we're expanding on that's going to do the proofs. So basically we have a protocol team writing the code to prototype the code for the protocols and writing the white papers, and there will be a research team writing the proofs. In parallel, we have a parallel computing team that have years of experience doing production code, very tight code. And this is, there are only I would say there are few teams out there in the world that can do this. So we have gone with the best, and we hope that we know that we will be able to succeed in getting a high level of transactions per second, because you have to write tight code, make sure the latencies are just about right for the code that you write. So that's our parallel computing team, and we also have blockchain engineers and UIX, and of course Atif is our business development guy who has been doing a phenomenal job on Telegram.
Great job, great. So one question that I always love asking in the open source community is, people are always asking, like, where's the GitHub? How come nothing's been uploaded on GitHub yet?
Yes.
So maybe that's a good question to answer to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. We made a decision. It wasn't an easy decision. We made the decision not to release the code publicly. Now, obviously, we have given demos to Oh Hey Matty is one of the YouTubers. We have shown the demo to Oh Hey Matty and Gobwan, as well as Ian Bellina. So it's not like we're hiding from it. It's just that we don't want to release the code at this point, and we don't want it to be copied until the mainnet is released, and until all of that is set. Then, prior to the mainnet, we will release the code for people to verify what we have done and play around with the code.
Great,
absolutely,
yeah. Perfect. And now that some of your time is freed up from the token sale being complete, what do you kind of do on a day-to-day basis? I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, token sale did take a lot of our time, but we right now our focus is execution on all fronts. So the two main fronts is the marketing plan, getting people to understand what 0Chain is all about, getting dApps to come on board, and obviously your viewers can help in that regard. So not just dApps, but blockchains, because we want to position ourselves as a extensible platform to other blockchains, and as well as traditional enterprise apps. Now, for them to come over, they want to know it should be easy enough for them to come over. And what we're doing in the first release is doing APIs. So anybody actually can use the APIs, not just dApps, to use our platform. So that's one of the main push on the marketing side. And obviously on the development side, we need to execute on protocols, papers, proofs, and the testnet code and the mainnet code. So yeah.
Got it. So a lot of execution and building,
Yes.
architecting right now,
Yeah.
I'd imagine. So just so I understand, if I'm an enterprise company and I would like to host my data for free, I would buy the tokens,
Yeah.
and then be able to, right, and there's a staking, right? There's a stake. So just by holding it and staking it, that determines how much data I am then able to store on the blockchain. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, so it works pretty much like a bank. Of course, the bank doesn't have that many services, but if you hold enough tokens, you will get that level of service in terms of how much compute cycles you want to use, and then how much data you want to store. And it all depends on how many tokens you hold. And it will be comparable to what you would have done on AWS.
So you'd be anticipating then that enterprise companies would probably be buying up a number of tokens at some point as the project progresses, right?
Oh,
That's the
absolutely,
assumption.
absolutely. In fact, we will have people play around with it on testnet, and then between testnet and that testnet will be alpha and beta. So around the beta stage, we will allow dApps to kind of buy our tokens in the open market.
When would you anticipate would be kind of the launch of the testnet?
Yeah, so we expect that to be in April-May timeframe,
Okay.
and the mainnet probably sometime end of the year, depending on how well the alpha and the beta releases go. So alpha will be with our nodes, beta will be with miners. So that's when we will recruit miners on our platform, and then if that goes well, then basically the mainnet will be an extension of that.
Great. Sounds good. So what would you ask from people, and where can people go to learn more about 0Chain?
Sure. So what I would ask your viewers to do is have dApps and blockchains be interested in what we're doing and partner with us and to get the word
free
out.
cloud computing.
Yes, for free cloud computing, and this is not only free, but it's at the performance level that can match AWS performance. So, and in a decentralized way, which is what people want these days. So, because they want to be transparent. So that's one of the things I would ask your viewers to come onto our website, join our Telegram, follow us on Twitter, and if you have any questions, please email us or DM the admin on our Telegram.
Great. Sounds good. So you can go to 0chain.com if you'd like to learn more.
Actually, it's 0chain.net.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
0chain.net.
Yeah.
And and make sure that you click subscribe. Thanks again for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Manjal. Thank you for having me here.
Always a pleasure.